Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm back. I am back, and good afternoon to you. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you probably till about 5 o'clock. I gotta get out here before it rain and cut this grass. I gotta get out here before it rain. I gotta cut this grass. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. My grass need cutting. I can't not cut it. It ain't bad, but it ain't, you know. So you got to get out there and do it when you can. So, oh boy, hold on, let me see. They done changed this whole thing around. Come on in here, y'all. If y'all don't mind, say hello to me. I would appreciate it. If you come in and say hi, I will greatly appreciate it. We got SOT Soldier in the house. Good afternoon. Anthony in the house. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Again, as always, I'm rushing in here from work. So I rush in here, I get in here, try to get everything together, put it down, and whew, boy, got a couple things that I want to talk about today. This is usually First Amendment Friday. I'll have to look. I don't know if I got a good one yet. Terry, good afternoon. Downtown checking in. We got Lonzo in the house. Lonzo says, welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a rough 2 days. It ain't been that rough. It's just, working late. And then I had the little baby too. So I had to get the little baby and I had to take her to her mama. She could have this whole thing. But yeah, past couple days I done had the little baby. So I've been distracted and I worked late, but I'm here now. Mary, good afternoon, Mary. Good afternoon. We got Yo Underwood in the house. He says, good afternoon, everybody, and what's happening? McConnell's here. What's up, y'all? At the gym. It's hot. It ain't that hot outside, but I like the heat. But it ain't that hot outside. Like the way they talking, like, what I'm saying, is you're gonna go out there and melt. But it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. Ernest, what's up? Hold on, let me see. Ernest, what's up, Ernest? Good afternoon. Got Brent in the house. Good afternoon. Checking in from Dallas. Diane, good afternoon. She says hi and happy Friday. All right. We got Janice in the house. Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, Janice. Daryl's in the house as well. Good afternoon. Reese Mooney. Reese is in the house. All right. Good afternoon, Phyllis in the house, checking us out. Good afternoon. Scott at the winter home here in Cincinnati. He says he's in West Walnut Hills. Let's see. We got Regina in the house, checking us out from Madisonville. Yeah, I know I still got Wyatt on over here. I haven't really had much opportunity this week to listen to Wyatt or to listen to Lincoln. So, I tuned in here and there. Sometimes when I'm driving in, especially like today, I got an opportunity to listen a little bit to Wyatt. When I'm driving in, understand this. When little baby in the car, the little baby likes to watch YouTube videos. And I'm not, I'm fancy. I drive my truck. It's my work truck and it's my vehicle. I ain't got all the fancy DVD player and all of that kind of stuff. Plus, she wouldn't want to watch that anyway. She watches these YouTube things for kids. And she had her own phone, but she lost it already. She had it for maybe 2 weeks and then she lost it. I could have told them that was what was going to happen. They went out and bought that little baby a new iPhone. Like, get that little baby some Android that's cheap. No, they bought her a new iPhone. She done lost it. So now we get in the car. Grandfather, can I use your phone? I give her the phone so she can watch her YouTube videos in the car. But today I had opportunity to listen for a few minutes to Wyatt, just for a few minutes. We'll discuss. We will discuss. Phyllis. Phyllis. Oh, she's replying to Yo Underwood. Kathy. Kathy says, "Hey, this your cousin Kathy Smith, James' daughter." Oh, hey. All right. We got did I say Phyllis already? Um April. April says, "Good afternoon, everyone." She's hanging at the pool. All right. Well, good afternoon, and keep cool down there. We got Deborah. Deborah in the house from Forest Park. Deborah in the house from Forest Park. Let's see. I want to get started. Uh, Emmanuel, you seem like a great babysitter. You can watch my grandson for me. I give whoopings. I give whoopings. Yes, whoopings with a whole belt. I give whoopings. I believe in it. Brenda checking us out from Fairfield. What's up? Good afternoon, Brenda. We got Ray Walk. Ray Walk. What up, King of Talk? Good afternoon, everyone from Hamilton. All right, Hamilton. I used to live up there. I don't know why I be like happy when I see people from places that I used to live. I don't live there no more, but I still appreciate the stuff I learned up there. Got Pamela. Pamela in the house. Good afternoon. Checking in from North Avondale. Good afternoon, Pamela. And we got Maria from North College Hill. All right. North College Hill. Brent says, "Not that hot. Speak for yourself." In Dallas, it's 97 degrees with the heat index 105. I don't believe in heat index. I don't believe in heat index. It's 97. Might be a little muggy 97, but it's still just 97. I don't believe in heat index and wind chill. That's just a way to make things seem like they're more extreme than they are. Brent says whoopings, choke slam, chops, and occasional RKO. I will choke a kid. I will choke a kid. Man, you so right about the grandbabies. Mine's had 3 of them. Oh, they phones. Their parents brought them. They would get a Fisher Price one for me. I told them, buy that baby an Android. An Android. Shit, baby, you can watch YouTube on the Android, and then when she loses it, not if, but when she loses it, I'll be all right. I get why they bought her the Android. I mean, the iPhone, though. She does FaceTime, with people all the time, which is wild to me that she's proficient on that phone. Let's see. Kids would be good at your house. You got all the cakes, cookies, and Twinkies. That's right. Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all this little trick I learned. I'm sure somebody already knew this. I'm gonna tell you this little trick I learned. Don't let me forget the cookie trick. All right. Before I get out of here, if I'm like, all right, y'all, make sure y'all have a wonderful. Somebody type in cookie trick, and I'll remember. Joe say what's good. 113 here in Phoenix. All right. That's hot. I'll give you that. That's hot. Y'all know when I was in Phoenix not too long ago, it felt like a year or so ago, I was walking around and the lady was like, "What are you doing?" Like, "I'm out and about." She was like, "No, we don't do that. You need to go inside." You need to go inside. It's too hot. I was like, okay. All right. Let's see. We got Phyllis. Hell to the no, no, no. All right, let's see. Let's get to something. Of course, I haven't really had an opportunity to discuss this. I haven't really had an opportunity to discuss this at all. It looks like Wyatt is going off. I got the volume turned down because oh yeah, he playing the crazy music. It's just hip hop. I'm not a big hip hop head, so for me, He playing the crazy music. Um, the 9-year-old who was shot and killed. Of course, that's horrible. That is horrible. And, condolences to the family. Although, of course, I'm not so sure how much that helps, but like I feel it. I feel it. Um, Now I want to be clear about something. And I know I'll get in trouble for this, but I try to be the way that I look at things. It's the way that I look at things. Oh, hold on a second. Turn that off. It's buzzing. Um, the way that I look at things is the way I look at things. And people are saying that the people who fired into the house that they're cowards. I heard the sheriff say that, and people are calling them monsters and all of that kind of stuff. And let me say, is that cowardly? Do a drive-by? Just the act of doing that itself is a little cowardly. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Um, the act of shooting and killing someone intentionally because of beef is cowardly. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Um, but people, look, and again, people not gonna like it because it's gonna seem like I'm taking up for somebody. I'm really not taking up for them. I just want us to put it into the proper perspective. Is it too soon to put it into the proper perspective? I don't think it's ever too soon. I don't think it's ever too soon. Look, they didn't go out intentionally trying to kill a 9-year-old, right? Like, keep that. Did they do it? Sure. Should they be punished for it? Absolutely. But people acting like they went out and said, "Ooh, I think it's a 9-year-old in that house. Let me go shoot it up." That's probably not the case. That's probably not the case. And some of it, none of this, as I think about exactly what to say, none of it is going to come out and sound even halfway good. So some of y'all just going to hate me today. All right. But y'all know I'm used to that anyway. I would say you got to put some of that on if the story that we're being told is the story. And for the sake of argument, let's say it is. Somebody did something, robbed somebody, did whatever. And this was some sort of a retaliatory strike. Let me put the chat up here. I had to see when y'all start hating on me. And this was some sort of a retaliatory strike. I think some of the responsibility for that goes on the person who did whatever the initial thing was. Again, I'm not saying that that's retaliating by shooting up somebody's house is good. It's bad. It's horrible. And you never know who you hitting. You can't see inside the house. You can't see inside the walls. So it could be a little baby. It could be a 9-year-old. It could be a innocent 20-year-old. It could be an 85-year-old. It could be a 94-year-old. There's no way to tell who those bullets are gonna hit. So it is 100% reckless. It's 100% irresponsible. But y'all know how we've been talking about this stuff. Like, what's up. I know what's up. And they know what's up. And if you're running around here committing acts of violence, you are the problem. You are the problem. If you're running around here robbing people, you are the problem. You are the problem. If you're running around here committing acts of violence or, doing things to people that will make them or that could potentially make them retaliate against you, and you know the kind of people you doing stuff to, there's a really good chance you know the kind of people that you're doing stuff to. And you never know what they might do. You are partially responsible. Look, I still don't believe in the death penalty. And I might walk closer to that line if you told me there was a 9-year-old, they knew there was a 9-year-old, and they targeted the 9-year-old. Like the dude that shot his three kids with the rifle or whatever, executed his three sons. To me, that's a different level than this. Not that one is better than the other, but it's different. There's a difference in my mind. It's intentionally going out to kill a kid and firing into a house and killing a kid. I would like to think, I hope, maybe that's what I should say. I hope that at least they feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? I hope they feel bad about it. But what does that do for me? I don't know. It does something about their humanity for me. Something about their humanity, I guess. I don't know. I genuinely, I do not want to believe that people are as bad as they are. I don't want to believe it. I want to believe people have problems with conflict resolution and they need help and they need counseling. I want to believe people have problems with anger management and they need help and they need counseling. I want to believe people are in a position, maybe financially, where they have issues and maybe they need to step over in their minds anyway, they need to step over the line legally to do something to provide for them and their family. Those are the things that I want to believe. But I also know that it's just some evil people out here. It's just some evil people. And it all depends on, the situation. If and Tabitha says, I hope they apologize in court for the little girl. And what will that do? I don't know. It'll maybe help. I was about to say it'll restore my faith, but it won't restore my faith. But it'll erode a little slow. Say, look, we didn't know was a kid in the house, or we had no intention on shooting a 9-year-old. We're devastated that happened. We're devastated that happened. Something like that. I can't believe. The same way when police do it. When police accidentally the SWAT team came in and they fired some shots and they killed a sleeping 8-year-old on the couch. They killed a grandmama, all of that kind of stuff. You're like, they didn't really mean to do that. It don't bring the person back. It don't bring the person back, but you know, it's just horrible. It's horrible. And again, there's no answer for it. There is no solution. There is no solution. No one solution. It's not. It doesn't exist. We can holler and scream about how we right. I'm right. I told y'all. I'm right. I told y'all. I'm right. I told y'all. Okay, you're right. You told us. That ain't bringing that 9-year-old back. And it ain't stopping the next drive-by that just happened in the West End. I don't have an answer for it. Clearly we don't. I'm open to listen. Everybody running around, I'm right. I told you. I'm right. I told you. Remember I told you this day? I was right. Remember I told you this that day? I was right. I told you I was right. I told you I was right. I'm right. I told you. People still being killed. People still being killed. And I'm told I'm too negative. I'm too negative. But if you right all the time and you know all the answers, you got the solutions, Put them in place. Put them in place. Tabitha says, where's the community leaders? What community leaders? And what do we want community leaders to do? I don't, Tabitha, this is a legit question. What do you want community leaders to do? Who are community leaders? What do you want them to do? And how do you want them to address this? And do you honestly believe that some community leaders can solve this problem? Yo said I'm about to stop sharing this show. Some of Lincoln people just don't like you. What the hell you be doing to some of these older people? I don't know. I just share my thoughts and my views. That's it. I share my thoughts and my views. Hold on, I gotta put my name up here. So somebody tunes in, they know who I am. I just share my thoughts and my views. I don't know why people don't like me. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Denise says, they said it was retaliation against whom? Praying for the little girl and her family. I don't know who it was retaliation against. I mean, I've heard stories. Tabitha says, I think community leaders can stand up and speak out. I'm going to take it, little bit by little bit. Stand up and speak out. I think everybody is saying, community leaders, community followers, people who don't give a damn about the community. I think everybody is standing up and everybody is saying this is wrong and violence needs to stop. Everybody's saying it. Who's not saying that? The people who are being violent. Community leaders standing up saying that it's wrong ain't stopping it. But also get the community involved in helping the youth with jobs. I'm pretty sure that this is not a job issue. Some of them maybe, but I'm pretty sure this is not a job issue. I think if you're the type of person who will hop in a vehicle, potentially steal a vehicle, grab an AK-47, drive by somebody's house, and spray it with bullets, you're probably not the type of person that's showing up to work every day, putting in an honest day's work on time, hitting the clock, working hard, making sure the job get done. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those are just the type of person that you need to hire. But I feel like I don't want the AK-47 dude working in the factory next to me. You know what I'm saying? What if we have a disagreement? I don't know that it's a job thing for somebody who's running around shooting people, doing drive-bys with an AK-47. And so that's why I said some of the stuff, look, I'm certain there are a lot of young people and older people that can be reached. I'm certain that there are. I'm certain. A lot of young people and older people who can be reached. But I'm just not sure that the person with that mentality, hey, he did so-and-so. He robbed me. He did whatever. I know where he lived, or I know where his mama lived, or I know where his grandmama lived. Let's go over there and spray the house. I'm sure they have different hip terminology that, I'm not privy to. But let's go over there and spray the house with bullets. That's probably not the dude on Indeed, You know what I'm saying? Trying to update his resume. Oh, I really need a job. If I didn't have a job, I wouldn't have an AK-47. I would just be going to work every day. I understand what you're saying. Yo, Underwood said, I try. They don't rock with you, bro, but you cool with me. I'm all right with them not rocking with me. I've always been all right with that. Preston says, what's the discussion about? Somebody maybe you'll tell him. But I always suggest listen for a while. Uh, and it'll become very apparent. Andre says, I agree. I hope this is a lesson to all. If you are young and dumb, living with older people, just know that this could happen to your family if you're doing dirt and going back to the older people house. Let me ask you this, though, Andre. And I think this is a legit question. I don't know the answer. I don't know that there is a right answer. Do you think that people who are out there doing dirt and then go home really care what happened to the people that they go home to? If I'm out there living foul, doing dirt, but I go to my mama house every night, do you think I really care about my mama? Because they know that people follow them home and find out where they live, and that if something go down, you know, it's possible that they can be used in however many different ways as leverage or to get retribution. I often wonder. I said, if I were selling drugs, if I were, robbing people who sell drugs, if I were out in the streets doing horrible things, I would have to be single without kids to feel comfortable doing it. Because I know, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you got a kid. You gonna rub the wrong person the wrong way, and they gonna come for your child. You gonna rub the wrong person the wrong way, and trouble is gonna show up at your doorstep. And if I was right now engaged in doing dirt, I can't really care about Mrs. Livingston. I can't. Because I know what that lifestyle can bring to my home. I can't really care. I can't. So do you believe that people who out there who live that lifestyle actually care about anybody other than themselves? I don't think they do. There's not a fix for what's happening out there right now. The plan has been in effect for so long. We have to change the ones coming up. Yeah. Yeah. And Tabitha, I understood you were saying jobs for the kids. Anthony said them three kids was not looking for legitimate jobs. Or them three, yeah, them three cats, he said. Ernest says, what is it with the face tattoos? Look, I've long held that because I try not to judge people by the decisions that they make with what they do to their body. I don't have any tattoos. Tattoos are weird to me. Tattoos are weird to me. But just because they weird to me don't necessarily mean they weird to you. So you might be like, oh, no, I get a tattoo where can't nobody see it. Well, then what's the point of having the tattoo? But, maybe it's just for you, but that's still weird to me. Well, I get a tattoo, but I just get it here. It's weird to me. So face tattoos, I've always held. Face tattoos is a sign that you've given up on fitting in with conventional society. Face tattoos to me is a sign that you've given up on fitting in with conventional society. It's basically a middle finger to whatever community standards, societal standards we have. Because you gotta know, you get a face tattoo, it's off putting to a lot of people. It limits a lot of what you can do, like, at least in my opinion. Maybe somebody gonna be like, no, you're wrong. Because I hired a lawyer who represented me in court and he had 12 face tattoos. I think it's certain, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a teacher. Oh, you want to be a teacher? Well, I'm getting this face tattoo. Like, you might be limiting yourself in terms of what you can accomplish in the teaching field if you go get a face tattoo. When I grow up, I'm going to be a doctor. But you sitting in the tattoo chair, getting a something on your face, tattoo, you might be limiting yourself in terms of you're putting a ceiling, possibly. So yeah, I've long said, and again, people don't like me, so I get pushback against people when I tell them I believe face tattoos are people with face tattoos have said I don't belong to conventional society. Well, Mike Tyson got one, and Mike Tyson was not living in conventional society. Come on, this was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson basically was saying, y'all don't like me, F y'all. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and go in here and punch people in the face. Knock them out. But I don't know. Yeah, once you put a tattoo on your face, you're not expecting to work at nobody's office. People who commit the kind of offenses that those guys have been accused of should have a death penalty imposed on them. I don't believe in the death penalty, but you have a right to believe in it. But why do you think they should get the death penalty? So, I mean, are you saying anyone who shoots into a house blindly should get the death penalty? Because it's not, again, to me, that's the difference. Intent matters. To me, intent matters. I know some people like, I don't care what they intend. Okay, whatever. And they mean that politically and they mean that in a whole lot of other ways. But intent matters to me. You see a 9-year-old walking down the street and you like, oh, I'm going to shoot him and kill him. You see a house, you got beef with somebody and you fire shots into the house and it kills a 9-year-old. To me, those are slightly different. To me, you're much more of a monster if you're just intentionally killing 9-year-olds. I'm not saying you're an angel if you accidentally kill a 9-year-old, but you're much more of a monster. Preston said, read my next comment. Okay, hold on. Women and children have always been off limits, period, point blank. Always look a man in the eye before you kill him. That's not good. How about stop killing men? Stop killing men. But you're proposing the death penalty, so you're not against killing people. You just believe, kill whoever you want to kill, just look them in the eye first. Okay. This can happen anywhere, anytime. These cats don't care about nothing. Don't let the media fool you. This stuff is hitting the suburbs. Angela says, salutation. Andre answering my question. He says, no, they probably don't. But after seeing this, it should be a reality check that it's possible that people will care less than you do by hurting the ones you love, even if it's an accident. Speaking of tattoos, face tattoos, arms, chest, and back is okay. But on the face is a whole different story. They're not for society and or a career. Or at least not a conventional one. Not a conventional. Maybe if you're a rapper. You know what I'm saying? You're a rapper. You think that, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna make it. Maybe. Maybe. A fighter, a boxer. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? You maybe even an NBA guy, you know what I'm saying? Got some face tattoos. Maybe. Got the skills. But conventional society, you've given up once you put that on my face. You've given up. It always seems to me that these criminals are coming from different cities, bringing their guns and drama here. I don't know. I think we got enough people here with guns and drama. Like, let's not make no bones about it. There are bad people who live in Cincinnati. Well, I know we like to paint them all as black. There's some white bad people and there's some black bad people. Some Latino bad people, some Asian bad, you know what I'm saying? There's bad people come in all races and shapes and sizes. But I don't know. It ain't no answer, y'all. I don't I don't believe it's an answer. I believe, like I can't remember who said it earlier, but what we all keep saying is you have to focus on the young people. And really you can only focus on the young people that you have access to. So you have to focus on the young people that you have access to try to shape and mold them. It's the parents. It's the parents. Yeah, it's the parents. But there's a lot of parents out here who don't care, who don't teach the right thing. I'm willing to say that. I had to stop and kind of check myself. There's a lot of parents out here who don't teach the right thing. There is right and wrong. There is right and wrong. And a lot of parents out here don't teach what's right. Okay, I need to move that over a little bit. They're literally teaching kids to do what's wrong. And I know a lot of us, we dismiss twin. I don't, but a lot of people do. But I listen to what twin and people like twin who I've talked to who've lived a certain lifestyle. I listen to what they say. And I always like to ask them the question when they talking about, you know, how to stop this and what could have kept you out? What could have kept you out of a particular lifestyle? And a lot of times the answer is nothing. Nothing. There was nothing that anyone could have said or done to stop me from doing what I was gonna do. I was influenced from the time I was a little bitty kid. My family members was living that lifestyle. I watched them live that lifestyle. I took that lifestyle from them. You look, understand if you don't already understand this. I'm not really saying a whole lot of stuff that people don't already know. I'm right. I told you that's not me. I'm saying, you ever see a family where, I don't know, some generation, Pops decided he wanted to be a mechanic and he started fixing cars. And his sons and daughters hung out with him. They listened to him talk about cars. They put pictures of cars up on they walls in the bedroom. They went to the shop with him. They learned how to fix cars. And then guess what? It's no longer Johnson Automotive. It's Johnson and Sons Automotive. And then they just keep passing that down and keep passing that down. My dad was a doctor. It made me want to be a doctor. So I became a doctor. And now my daughter is a doctor, or my son is a doctor. Happens in all kind of fields. My dad was a lawyer, and then I saw that and made me want to be a lawyer. So I became a lawyer, and then I became a judge. And then my son saw me become a judge. And so now my son wanted to be, so now my son became a judge. And It's not necessarily, oh, we got this particular skill set in my family. It's your son watched you and learned from you. He idolized you because you was his daddy or you were some prominent figure in his life. Because it don't necessarily have to be your son. But you were in some way, shape, or form somebody that this child looked up to and respected. And they wanted to be just like you when they grew up. The same thing happened with criminal activity. The same thing happened with womanizing. Like, it don't just happen when it's an honorable thing. Kids look up to you. They see what you do. They honor it and they respect it and they watch it and they try to, through what they, little minds, they try to learn it and analyze. And then as they grow up, they begin to see it and they want to walk like you. They want to talk like you. They want to do what you do. So yeah, if you grow up in a family of hustlers, there's a good chance you might be a hustler. It's not 100%, but it's a good chance that even if you decide, you know what, I'm going to be a lawyer. You're going to be a hustling lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a certain style that kind of meshes with whatever it is that you saw. Like my dad was a mechanic. I became a lawyer. You are going to dissect cases and law like someone who's a mechanic. If that's the way, you know what I'm saying? You're going to break it down because that's the way a lot of times we do as people. Now, of course, again, I say this all the time. You can't just snatch kids out the house because you don't like the lifestyle that the parents is living. Part of me wish you could, but a part of me is glad you can't. A part of me wish you could, but a part of me is glad you can't. Say, oh, he a criminal. Take his kids from him. You can't do that. You can't do that. You want to do it. Why you want to do it? Because there's a good chance that this kid's going to become a criminal just like him. If he there, they watching him, they listening to him, they learning from him, they look up to him, they respect him. It's a good chance. There's also a good chance that it won't happen. So you can't just do it in advance. But, you want to do it. Because you look at them and you're like, look at what they learning. Now, I didn't teach my son to be a gangster. Now, you showed him. You know what I'm saying? Your actions spoke louder than, no, I always told my son, don't be like me. Don't be like me. I don't know why that's my gangster voice. I told my son, don't be like me. That's what I always told my son. But you took him with you when you was doing dirt. Or he heard you and your friends talking and laughing about doing dirt. So yeah, you telling me, son, don't do what I do. But you sitting there bragging about what you do with your boys and he in earshot. So some parents are just not gonna, and that's why I'm like, the best that you can do sometimes is to try to be the other influence. How much sway is that gonna have? You never know. You never know. I told y'all the story about the football kid. Yeah, their lifestyle was a certain lifestyle. His brother got caught up in it, and he told me I would have been in jail for 10 years. But you told me something a long time ago. Something I don't even remember. I'm telling you, he might have had me mixed up with somebody else, for all I know. But you told me something years ago. And I said, I'm not doing that. So you don't know what's going to catch. You don't know what ain't going to catch. You try to reach out. And for me in particular, Cause sometimes, my mama was a lawyer, my daddy was a doctor, all my siblings are wonderful human beings, do amazing things, and I decided to be a criminal. You, know, you don't know what I mean. If you could really look at it and dissect it, you could probably figure out what happened. Sometimes you have those exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you have those exceptions to the rule. But try to be an influence as best you can on young people. And to me, what that means is this. I try to talk to young people with respect. And I'm not talking like little 5-year-olds and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, you deal with 5-year-olds and all that kind of stuff. You should always just be kind and loving and teaching and all that. You know what I'm saying? But even when you run into, so I'm gonna say a borderline teenager, you know what I mean when I say a borderline teenager. A borderline teenager. One of those teenagers that you looking at them, they not doing dirt. They might be hanging around people doing dirt, but they not doing dirt yet, but or at least not as dirty dirt as the other kid. And they kind of feel like, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this dirt. And sometimes you can tell he trying to fit in. Those kids, I try to take them. I try to talk to them. I try to, get them interested in some of the things that I'm interested in, if possible. And I, try to be a positive influence. I try the best I can. Like, look, I'm not the coolest dude in the world. You know what I'm saying? Them teenagers look at me like, this dude corny as hell. He corny. Like, don't nobody want to be like him. But then when I take them and I've done this. I take them and I give them a little job. A little job. So, I got this little video shoot. All I need you to do is point the camera. I'll be in your ear. I'll be telling you everything to do. You just do what I tell you to do. Then boom, the job is over. It was maybe an hour. And you can put $50 in their hand. And they like, really? I didn't even know I was getting paid for this. Like, yeah, here. It's a whole lot of things that you can do, a lot of skills that you can accumulate to make money. And then, they begin looking at the camera like, oh, how do this work? How do that? And then you show them a video and, you edited the video. How do you do that? And you begin to teach them stuff. You might spark an interest. You might spark just enough of an interest for them to be like, okay, he corny, but he knows some kind of cool shit. He seemed like an all right dude. I ain't really into all of that video stuff, or I ain't even into all of that audio stuff. I ain't into all that screen print stuff. I ain't into learning how to fix no brakes. I ain't into learning how to do all of this. I ain't into learning how to do all of that. But that dude corny, but he all right. And maybe it says to them, I don't have to try to be like them. I can just be me and find out what I like. Of course, y'all know I get that example because it's an honest example. It's a true example. It's an example that I could, if I was going to tell you somebody else's business, I could say this person's son was quote unquote headed down the wrong path. I just had him hang out with me for a couple weeks, off and on, here and there. And next thing you know, they wasn't hanging with the wrong crowd no more. They were looking for their thing. They were never looking at me like, oh, this dude is cool as hell. I was still corny to them. But I opened up. You don't have to be, there are so many different things. Find what you're interested in. And that person is a good, productive member of society with a really good career. And I wish I would have become interested in what they were interested in. But that's what I'm saying. That is our answer to helping the next, in my opinion, to helping the next generation. So that they ain't hopping in a car with some dude with an AK-47 talking about we gonna go shoot up a house and you driving while somebody else is in the car shooting, or you know what I'm saying, you helping to cover it up. But that's, if you ask me, that's the answer. Or at least that's a part of the answer. A part of the answer. There is no, in my opinion, the answer. But that's a part of the answer. But there are certain young people who, uh-oh, say, oops, something went wrong. Reload the page. And I lost all my comments. Oh no. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening now. Something happened. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, Tabitha says, I see you. I don't know what happened. Did I go out? Did I disappear? Okay, y'all see me. I, everything stopped and I got a message on here that said some stuff went wrong. So I reloaded. It looks like I'm okay. So, all right. But LaDon said she heard a noise. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Crystal said she never lost connection. Okay. Well, either way, um, I don't remember what I was about to say. I don't remember what I was about to say. But that's my view on it. Why you keep bringing up them kittens? I was just sharing with y'all what happened. I try to be open with y'all. I try to be open with y'all. Hold on, let me put my stuff back up here. See, all my stuff went away. But that's my view on it. That's one of the answers. One of the answers. Of course, there are other answers. Now let me say this. I'm switching gears a little bit. Hold on, before I switch gears though. Andre says, do we have an audit today? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. What was I about to say? Y'all keep distracting me. Oh, I want to kind of wrap up this portion of this conversation by again saying to that family, man, my heart go out to them. My heart go out to them. You, I couldn't imagine. Like I legit, because I think if I could have, I don't know if y'all remember, I told y'all this story. It was a little kid that got killed, and one of my coworkers would come in to work, and everybody she talked to, the little kid was like their granddaughter's age, and every coworker every person that coworker talked to, she started crying. Cause she'd be like, I just imagine that's my grandbaby, my grandbaby. And I was like, your grandbaby is fine. Stop imagining that it's your grandbaby and you will stop being that sad. Don't imagine that it's your grandbaby. So I can't even imagine that being one of the young people in my life that I love. Cause I would probably be in tears. I don't allow myself to, go there when it ain't necessary. I'm sure I'll have plenty of tragedy or sad times or whatever in my life. I'll have enough to where I don't have to conjure some up. But my heart goes out when I say I can't imagine. I guess I mean I won't imagine that being my loved one. And look, a lengthy prison sentence if those young men are found to have done what they're accused of. This is one of the cases where I don't mind the sheriff calling them cowards. I don't mind it. I don't necessarily think it was necessary, but I don't mind it. I'm one of these just the facts. I'm one of these just the facts guys. Like, tell me what happened to the best that you can tell me. Tell me what happened. I don't need you to interject your thoughts or your opinions. Give me the facts that you know. But Tina says, who was they trying to kill in the house? Look, I don't pretend to have all of the details. Okay. I don't pretend to have all the details. I don't know no names. I don't know the situation. I know I've heard some stuff. I mean, I believe it, but that don't mean it's true. But let's go with what the police said. It was some sort of retaliation. It was some sort of retaliation. I don't know who the person was that they were retaliating against, but apparently they wanted to retaliate against someone for doing something. Do I think they'll take a plea bargain? I don't know. I don't. You never know. My guess is probably. My guess is probably if they're offered one, and they have a decent lawyer, there's a chance that maybe they'll take a plea. Sometimes my understanding is sometimes it's smart. When I was arrested and charged, they offered me a plea. I knew I was 100% not guilty. I was fairly confident that I could beat them charges because I had the truth and facts and evidence to show that I didn't do what I was accused of doing. So I said, no, I don't want no plea. No, absolutely not. We go to trial. You sure? Oh, I'm 100% sure. 100% sure. I'll do these little 90 days or whatever if I'm found guilty, but I will never admit that I'm guilty of doing something that I didn't do. So it all depends on, in this particular case, how much time are they looking at? Because they still got time to pile on charges and all of that kind of stuff. Um, and it all depends again on what they offer. If you're offered what, involuntary manslaughter? What exactly are they charged with? Is that what they're charged with? Is it involuntary manslaughter? Hold on, let me look. Because I don't remember. I don't remember. I know that they're charged with the killing. Uh, Stop it. Type what I'm typing. Why are you doing that? There we go. Oh, let's read. Aggravated murder. Aggravated murder. So, if you're offered what? Involuntary manslaughter and some slightly minimal amount of years. I don't know, would you take that? I'm thinking probably I would take it. Especially if I know I actually did it and that they have proof. Yeah. But you never know. You never know. For all we know, they won't offer them anything. But I think they almost always offer. I'm stuttering? I don't know, because I'm grief stricken. Oh, it's the video. The video is stuttering. Rilo says, I don't think it was appropriate to call the guys cowards. It was a tragic accident and now they're going to jail, but she wasn't the intended target. Innocent people don't get their homes shot up. I'm just saying. Uh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I think anybody can, accidents can happen. It was the wrong house. It's the wrong person. It was a person that had absolutely nothing to do with it. And because what the 9-year-old, according to the story, was at her grandmother's house. So, oh, I'm sorry, CK. It looked like I missed your call. Oh no, he's calling in. Here we go. Got CK calling in. Let me get CK in here. CK.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Livingston?
CK, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Man, I was watching your show today, man. It was fire. It was fire. You hear me? Fire emoji. I was listening to it, man. Did you hear what that last dude just wrote you that you read to the audience?
Did I hear it?
Yeah.
I think I heard it.
Hey, this fool said innocent people don't get their house out of. Hey, if you could have seen yourself, you should have had a mirror to see. You said, "What did this fool just say? That innocent people don't get their house shot up." What the hell school did they go to?
Well, I think that Donna, that is a lot of people really do believe. Like, look,
right? They stupid.
Well,
a lot of people stupid.
Wait. A lot of people believe if you're not out there causing trouble, there's trouble ain't just gonna. It wasn't just random. You know, people don't believe that people just randomly like, oh, I'm driving down Vine Street. Let me shoot up that house. It's like, no, you have to be involved in something or, you know, doing something for something like that to come back on you. A lot of people believe that.
Right. That's why you had to explain it, because you was like, I could tell the way you explained. You was like, a lot of people believe this horse shit. Innocent stuff happen to innocent people every day, B. Little girl going to the these kids getting kidnapped and everything, man. What's going on? They talking about innocent people don't get their house shot up. Well, who breaking in the house? And when you get the house broke in, what? Did you a target, or was it random? They just seen the house. They oh, this house looks good.
I think a lot of people genuinely believe that if you get your house broken into, it wasn't random. People know, you know what I'm saying? It's something, somebody knows something, that it wasn't just eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's rob that house. People don't believe that stuff is random.
Now, what do you believe? You know people break into houses? That's part of the game, right? That's why we get alarm systems. Right. That's part of the game. So, how many people know that random houses do get broken into? Right. Or you think they just all of them stupid?
Right, but random houses just getting shot up in a drive-by is not something that a lot of people believe happens. People believe if somebody come by intentionally shooting up your house in a drive-by, it wasn't random. It was somebody did something and led someone there.
I seen 7 people get shot. 6 of them died. 2 of them little kids, and they all was innocent. It was a random, like you said, like you was explaining before I called. What you said is mistakes, accidents, what you call misidentity. What's the word? Misidentity?
Yeah, but
mistaken.
But people would still say that ain't random. That's where someone had there was a case of mistaken identity. Again, it wasn't any, meeny, miny, mo. Let's shoot up that house. It was, all right, get him, and then, ooh, that's the wrong house. But it wasn't just random.
Yep. Killed everybody in the house. 2 little boys died. Luckily, the 14-year-old, he got out. But 7 homicides, death row. This happened in California. But we gotta call them out. I think their name was Rilo Sanchez. Dumbest comment of the day. Said because he just said innocent people don't get their house shot up and ended it like he said something smart. Like yes they do, B. Every day.
I don't know
In
about every.
America, an innocent person is getting their house shot up.
I don't
This
know
is
about
the
every
land
day.
of the killings.
Yeah, I don't know about every day, but I would
How
agree
often
with
you
you.
think it happened in the country?
I don't know, but I don't think it happens every day. I don't think there's a innocent person getting a house shot up every day in the country. I don't buy into that.
Every crime happens to everybody. Not every crime happens to innocent people every day. That's why they victims. You're not a victim because you're guilty. You're a victim because you're innocent. You're a victim of circumstance. You just happen to be passing by. Oh, let me pick his pocket. Bam! It ain't, I've been watching this show for 6 years. I'm about to pickpocket Mr. Livingston. No, you just walked past the pickpocketer. You was a random victim.
Well, I mean, there are certain things that, yes, you're a random victim. There are certain other things that there's a really good chance you were living a particular lifestyle for that particular thing to happen to you in that particular way.
Yeah, like when was the last time you got robbed at gunpoint?
I've never been robbed at gunpoint.
Thank you. Me neither. Me neither. So it's not about uh, it's not about you living a lifestyle. If it happens, it just was a random. Oh, okay. Well, this the day I got robbed.
No, not
But you,
necessarily, CK. Not necessarily.
mm-hmm.
See, I've never been robbed at gunpoint. Number one, I ain't got really nothing to take. But I could imagine if I'm out there, slinging money around, just showing people that I have access to money. Maybe I carry a lot of money around, whatever, and I catch the attention of the wrong people. I'm not just accidentally targeted. It's like, oh, that dude, he be walking around with $50,000 in a suitcase. Oh, well, we gonna rob him. It's not just, oh, you just some innocent dude that was randomly picked out. That's just not. I'm not saying that it never happens, but I think I agree with Rilo to the extent that I believe that there's less chance of me randomly being robbed at gunpoint, in particular in the city of Cincinnati, than me being a target.
Yeah, and you got to think another thing is your environment. A lot of people are victims of their environment. Like if you were living in Chirac, you know what I'm saying? Bullets just go into the windows and kill innocent children every day, B, in Chicago. That's why you be having 86 murders in the weekend, 94 murders over the week because it's where you're living at. But if you're not in like a violent community, then you might not be a random victim. But if you live in South Central LA, you might just get robbed just catching the bus. You just getting on the bus stop. Hey, get up.
Okay.
Break yourself. That's how they talk out there. In Cincinnati, they say get up. But in West Coast, they be like, break yourself. That's how they talk out there. But
I appreciate
yeah,
that lesson.
but we got to let them know that people are innocent victims. That girl did not deserve to die, Mr. Livingston. She didn't deserve to die. She deserved to live and go to school and have a family.
But I don't think that was what Rilo was saying. Rilo wasn't saying that child deserved to die. Rilo was saying that there's a really good chance that there's somebody connected to that home that is doing something that they have no business doing, and that is what brought a group of people trying to retaliate against somebody for potentially robbing them to that home.
Yeah, and that's called blaming the victim. They are innocent. He's pulling that out his ass. Where did he get that shit from? If you are a victim of a home invasion and a murder, you're not involved in anything. You're just an innocent victim. Now, all these people in the sidelines they act like they know what happened. This is how rumors get started. That little girl ain't had nothing to do with nothing, just going to school.
Right, but
now you're going to put it like her family must be doing, maybe they selling dope. That don't just happen to anybody.
Right, but
yes, it does.
No one's saying that the 9-year-old deserved anything. What people are speculating, and I agree it is speculation, even though, you would have to imagine that law enforcement, there's a good chance that law enforcement has some sort of reason to believe that this was retaliatory. I mean, that's just not something that I hear them say on a regular basis. I don't hear the police saying, we believe this to be retaliation on a regular basis. So they have some reason to believe that this was a retaliatory drive-by shooting. And not
so you said the
necessarily,
police made that statement?
yes, and not necessarily retaliation against the 9-year-old, but retaliation against somebody who is in some way, shape, or form attached to that home.
So let me ask you a question. When you hear the police say, when you're watching the news and you hear them say the victim refused to cooperate, what goes through your mind, Mr. Livingston? What do you take that when you hear that quote from the police that the victim refused to cooperate?
I just typically think it means that the victim refused to cooperate.
So see, that's my point. Maybe so. Okay, when I hear it, let me tell you what I think.
Okay,
I'm saying, damn, the victim might don't know what happened. I think when they don't know what happens, they said they refuse. They saying they refuse to cooperate. No, it's not that they refuse to cooperate. They just don't know who the hell shot them.
No,
it's not that I'm not cooperating.
No. CK, you might have that wrong. You might have that wrong. A lot of times, if it's, what you're talking about, just some random stuff and they don't know anything, they'll probably not say they refuse to cooperate because they're telling them everything that they know, right?
Right.
Refuse to cooperate mean, tell me what happened, who shot you. They know who shot them, but they like, I ain't got nothing to say. But
how
tell
would
me
you
the
know that they know who shot?
I ain't got nothing to say.
How would you know that?
There are ways to know.
But you're speculating. If I'm saying, okay, I don't know who, hey, they just came out of nowhere and somebody just drove by and shot, I don't know what. Then when they report it to the news, you hear they refuse to cooperate. No, I didn't refuse to cooperate. I just don't know who the hell shot me.
But then, no. I think,
okay,
and of course, this is just me thinking, and I think you're wrong. I think police know the difference between if you standing on a street corner for whatever reason, waiting on the bus, and somebody drive through and spray the street corner with bullets, and the police come up, you got hit, non-life threatening. The police come up and the police ask you what happened. You're probably gonna say, I don't really know. I was standing here waiting on the bus and this black car just drove by. Some dudes came, lean out the car. Instead, what do they say in California?
Break yourself, fool.
And then police said, and somebody in the car said, break yourself, fool. And bullets started flying. Next thing I know, I got hit. And that's all I know. They're not going to say CK refused to cooperate. CK cooperated.
Okay.
CK just didn't know a damn thing. But now, if I'm standing there and I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say. Just get me to the hospital. No comment. I don't have anything to say. I don't know who did it. I don't know nothing. Just get me to the hospital. I don't know nothing. Just get me to the hospital. Now I'm refusing to cooperate. There's a good chance I know something, but I'm not going to say nothing for a number of different reasons. It could be. But I know something, but I'm not going to say it, as opposed to you don't know anything and you're telling them everything you know. That's the difference.
Right. Well, yeah, but I'm just not, I do understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just not so sure they're not using the manipulation, because when they say, like, technically you're right. But I'm saying they're using that to say, even if he just say he don't know, I think sometimes they lie and tell the media that they refuse to cooperate to manipulate the public into saying, well, he don't even matter. He don't even care who shot him. So I think sometimes they leave out the part of they don't know who shot him and use and says, well, he ain't cooperating, to kind of demonize the victim a little bit. That's what I was thinking. But you could be right, though. But, I'm just thinking a lot of times they just don't be knowing, and the police be frustrated. Like, and you know how they always say, well, all these people out here, somebody seen something. So I thought that was part of it when they say that. Somebody seen something. That's what the police say. But no, not necessarily. They still, that don't mean just because it's a whole bunch of people out, somebody saying something. So, but yeah, man, hey, man, I had to holler at you about that, man. But we got to, we got an answer, though. We got an answer.
All right. CK,
Appreciate
I
your call.
appreciate your call.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was CK. Um, yeah. Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference. And there are a lot of people who feel like, and I would probably argue that most times it's the case where people who are doing nothing, where people who are doing nothing usually just don't get their house shot up. Stray bullets is different. I mean, it don't make a difference if you get shot and killed by an intentional bullet or a stray bullet, you're still dead. I understand that. But I'm saying there's a difference between somebody shooting at somebody and a stray bullet coming through my window and someone intentionally shooting 30 something times at my house. And a lot of times, probably the overwhelming majority of the time, it wasn't random. Now, again, granted, the 9-year-old, who, hold on, let me stop calling her the 9-year-old. I mean, oh, give me her name. Demaya Pickens Barton. Little Demaya. It's a really, really, really good opportunity. I'll go out on a limb here and say Demaya didn't do anything to get shot. Somebody else did something to bring some retaliation. Somebody else did something. Now, Tina says, not true. I've seen it before multiple times. The victim knows who did it, but they refuse to tell police. I'm not sure what you're saying is not true. I don't know what it is that you're saying that's not true. I think we all acknowledge that that happens. I worked with a guy who got shot and he refused to tell the police and, to do whatever. And I talked to him and I asked him, this was up in Hamilton, and I asked him, why would you not just tell the police what happened? And his response was, oh, no, I'm going to handle this myself. I'm going to handle this myself. I don't need no police. I don't need none of that. I'm going to handle it. And I think a month later, he was dead. He got shot again. And this time, it killed him. So a lot of reasons why people don't cooperate. But sometimes it's just because they don't know. It's not a lack of cooperation. It's just a lack of information to share. And I understood it when he was saying it. Like, he came back to work, limping. I think he ended up getting shot in the leg and he was limping when he came back to work. And I remember I did, because we was cool. And I figured, well, then when I get another opportunity to ask a shooting victim, why don't you just tell police so they can, and he knew exactly who it was. He told me the dude name. Of course, I don't remember the dude name. I didn't, at the time, I didn't even live in Hamilton. And of course, I didn't run in those circles. And he told me, like, nah, it was that nigga Ricky. I know exactly who it is. Ricky and him and his boys and whatever. And they got me. But that's all right. I get them back. Just tell the police, bro. No, I got this. I'ma handle this. I don't need no police to handle this. I ain't no punk. I remember those words coming out of his mouth. I ain't no punk. I don't need no police. I don't think he said punk. He didn't say sucker. It was something along those lines. I don't need no police to handle this. I got this. So you just gonna go kill somebody. And he gave me this look like you soft ass. You know what I'm saying? Like who don't? Like, who don't? Who are you to think that it's wrong to just go kill somebody? What's wrong with you? That's the look that he gave me. And y'all know me. I'm trying to, talk to him like I be talking to people on the phone. Like, really? You just gonna go kill somebody? You that comfortable taking a life? That end shot me. That end didn't have no problem taking my life. And you don't know all the details anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? You trying to, oh, dude, okay, don't shoot me. I'm just asking. He got really upset. I knew then he kind of meant what he said. Like I said, about a few weeks, it might have been a month, might have been a month. He got shot and killed. So, yeah, that was a case of refuses to cooperate. It happens. It happens. Um, Let me see. I don't know that I really have anything else to say about that. I will say this. Like I listened to the Lincoln Ware show for I think I got about 5 minutes in. Was it today? Was it yesterday? One of them days when they first put the mug shots up. And look, y'all, again, I agree. Face tattoos, you said I'm withdrawing myself from the notion that I'm going to be successful in conventional society. But that don't necessarily mean you're a bad person. Face tattoos don't necessarily mean you're a bad person. So don't necessarily, I would encourage people not to judge people based on that. I would encourage people not to judge people based on that. I kind of understand if, well, I'm not saying don't be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm saying, I'm in the store, I'm buying something, especially I'm paying with some cash, and a dude come in looking a certain way, got all his face tattoos, acting exceptionally aggressive. I'm like, all right, be on guard. You never know what's gonna happen. Not necessarily the same for, you know, more. I don't want to use the term well dressed because I don't agree with a lot of y'all definition of what well dressed is, but much more conventionally dressed with a much more conventional personality. I'm not as alert. So, okay, I understand, but just because you see that don't mean that person's a criminal. Don't mean that person means to do you harm or meant to do anyone else harm. And these guys, as horrible as we feel about what they're accused of doing, they still deserve to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. All right. Um, what do I think about the CPS school attendant? I missed the whole story on the CPS school attendant. I missed the whole story on that. Janice says, I feel sorry for the innocent people who family members in that criminal life because the enemy of their loved one will also kill them for retaliation. Yeah, that's why I say I don't think that you really care about your loved ones if you out there living that life because you know you make them a target potentially. You make them a target potentially. Tabitha says, to me, the news don't cover enough information about crimes in our community. They just report it like it's the weather. I think all channels need to start speaking on gun violence and consequences. I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying or that I agree with you. Because I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying, I'm not sure that I agree with you. And again, I don't know what difference you think that'll make, if any. I don't know what difference you think that'll make, if any. Um, let's see. I'm gonna just touch on this for a moment. Hold on. Tabitha say we got to try everything. Okay. Ed says you put your whole family in jeopardy when you live that gutter trash life. All right. Preston says exactly due process. Now let me say this. I think I got some people slightly triggered. And it's never my desire to, have people triggered. Like I said, I didn't really have a chance to listen to but every time I've listened, I keep hearing, I want to say it one more time as clearly as I can. I'm not backing down off of it. I'm not going to be bullied out of it. I'm not going to be shamed out of it. I believe the Republican Party is a hate group. I believe it with every fiber of my being. I see who they align themselves with. And it's not just if if some of those people vote for you, then you're hate. No. If the KKK came out and endorsed me, I would say, I don't want your endorsement. I would denounce them. Kind of like they made Barack Obama do with Reverend Wright. Remember, initially he was like, "Oh, I could know easier or whatever, denounce him as I could." So on, yeah. And eventually, Barack Obama was like, "Yeah, I denounce him. I don't stand for what he's saying," because it got a little hot for him. It got a little hot for him. So if the KKK, the white nationalists, if all of the hate groups in the country support your party, and your party won't speak out and denounce any of the hate groups in the country, I feel like you walking hand in hand and step by step with them. I mean, you look, Emanuel, guess what? The KKK supports you. Like, really? The white nationalists support you. Really? The whoever supports you. Really? This hate group supports you. For real? This hate group supports you. For real. Hold on. I would stand up and say, look, I don't know why all of these hate groups support me, but I do not support you. I think you're horrible people. I don't believe in what you believe in. I don't hate. And the fact that they won't do that. Y'all know I've been on the radio. I'm not on the radio now. I've been on the radio and I've said things that somebody could misconstrue. And I've had people call in who are like, really hateful towards LGBT people. It's happened. And they're like, "You right." And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what I'm saying. You hateful. I don't hate agents. I don't agree with that lifestyle. Ain't nobody forcing me to live that lifestyle. So they can do what they want to do. I don't agree with it. I think it's nasty. I think it's, whatever, whatever. But I'm not coming from a position of hate. You hate them. And then, the hateful person who I just had to say, I don't agree with you. Then they kind of turn on me. But I'm comfortable with that. Because you're a hate group and I don't want to walk hand in hand with you down the road of hate. And if the Republicans decide to come out and denounce all of these hate groups, saying, racism, I don't support racism, while supporting all of the groups that promote racism, them is hollow words to me. Those are hollow words to me. When the Republican Party comes out When the Republican Party comes out as a part of their platform or in mass numbers, the leadership of the party on down, when they come out and they say, we don't support white nationalists, we renounce you, we denounce you, we pronounce you. No, when they say we don't support you, and on, then I would say, okay, they are really trying to send a message. Maybe they're not as hateful as I thought they were. But you don't hear that. You might hear one or two here or there when the circumstance arises. Other than that, you hear stand back and stand by. Angela wants to know, would you believe them? Maybe not initially. Maybe not initially. Only because they've been cozying up to them for a long time. They've been cozying up to them for a long time. But if the party leadership came out and said it, and then, say there's some very much self-pronounced white supremacists, white nationalists, whatever, at your rally, just like you put people out who, like Black Lives Matter, and you're like, get them out of here, punch them in the face and get them out of here. When the white nationalists show up, you like, hey, get them out of here. There's no place in this party for hate. Get out. And then when they start doing that, I would be like, oh, wow, they really don't want to embrace hate. But, of course, just saying it once won't do it. Just saying it once won't do it. Like if, what's the Tuberville? If Tuberville right now said, white nationalists are racist and I denounce them, I'd be like, that ain't just saying that because he getting all this heat about it. But then if over some period of time, he showed that, like, no, I really believe it. I didn't know what white nationalists were, but now that I'm aware, I don't support them and I don't want their support. Leave me alone. I don't agree with what you agree with. Then I'd be like, okay, he didn't know. And now that he know, he denounced them. It would take a process to change your mind. It would take consistency because they've consistently cozied up to them. So it would definitely take some consistency of denouncing them for me to believe them. But even putting that aside, because again, we for whatever reason in the African American community right now, there's it's a weird movement, and it's not new, but there's a weird movement of Black conservative-ish people trying to convince Black people that the Republican Party is where it's at, with nothing to back it up. Nothing to back it up. Except the Democrats are bad. Okay, the Democrats are bad. Look, y'all don't hear me. I don't know what y'all actually hear, but y'all don't hear me defending the Democrats. The Democrats are bad. And I know that drive y'all crazy, and y'all, well, but you said, what did I say? Well, but I think that you think. No, I don't think that. Democrats are bad. Well, but you always pushing the Democrat. No, I don't. I don't. When you say Democrats are bad, I don't say, no, they ain't. The Republicans. I say, okay, and? But there's this move to push us to feel like the Republican Party is where it's at because the Democrats are bad. You should go with the Republicans. I heard basically ain't no racism in America. How could America be a racist nation when they voted for a black president? How could America be a racist nation when they voted for a black president? 3 minutes later, they taking money that they could use for black people and they're using it for illegal immigrants. See, that's racist. Hold on, is it a racist nation or is it not a racist nation? Does racism exist or does racism not exist? Does racism only exist when it fits your argument, but when it in reality we just ignore it? Racism is real. And just because there was a black president doesn't mean America is no longer racist. Look at who he was running against. So a lot of factors go into who gets elected. But I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think you can have the America is not a racist nation, but then point out all of the racist stuff that America does. Is it racist or not? Pick a side. Because it don't change day by day. Either the stuff that they doing is racist or it's not. Well, yeah, the stuff that they doing is racist, but the nation ain't racist. But who doing the stuff? Like, come on. Come on. And another reason that I can't support Republicans. Look, you can't preach to me about the benefits of America and how somehow everybody can become anything that they want to in this great nation of ours. That's what y'all say. I don't necessarily agree with it, but all right, for the sake of argument, let me accept. In America, because America is the greatest country on earth, because America is the greatest country on earth, everybody, anybody can become anything that they want in this great nation. Then why are the Republicans trying to tear this nation apart? Why are they trying to dismantle, like, the voting system? Oh, you talking about because they want to let you got to have some ID? Nah, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. A man lost the election, tried to overturn and overthrow the government, and they still support the person who attempted to overthrow the government. They're working, they're doing the best that they can do to put measures in place to make it easier for someone to overthrow the government. And that's okay. That's okay. I thought this was the greatest nation in the world, on the planet, where anybody can become anything that they want. And you want to see that thrown out? The Republicans do. Well, no, they don't. Well, then again, you got a dude who's the de facto leader of the party. You got leadership in Congress, leadership in the Senate, who support this. They support this. But you want me to vote for the people who wants to take what one of the things that allegedly makes this the best, the greatest country on the planet. And you want me to vote for them to dismantle that? So that what? So that what? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. That's why I got the Republican challenge. Republican challenge is simple. A Republican calls in and tells me why I should vote Republican. I listen. What are Republicans doing that's good for the country and for my people? I can hear you. What are the Democrats doing? I'm not on here trying to push you to the Democratic side. I'm not trying to push you to vote Democrat. I had a guy call in the other day say he ain't gonna vote. What did I say? Hey, that's your right. So if you're trying to push people from one side to the other, you should be able to say what the other side can and is doing. Maybe you shouldn't vote Republican or Democrat. You could vote on the merits or platform of the individual. I can't necessarily trust alone the platform of the individual. Because these are the same people who you find me, you got a few Republicans now, and they're very few, who stand up and say, Donald Trump lost the election. He lost it fair and square. They were wrong for trying to overturn the government. I'm glad that they didn't do it. And I don't support that guy running for president again. If you can't say that, I don't care what you're saying. Because it's not a matter of, oh, well, I'll give more money to your people, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. It's a matter of, what about the country? That actually becomes a factor. You're going to be there and be a vote to overthrow the government? I don't trust it. And since I want to talk about Democrats, let me talk about Democrats just a little bit. We say, oh, they want to control you, and they wanted this, and they wanted that, and they're hateful, and they're this, and they're that. Hold on, let me. So I could run as a Democrat with no platform, no ideals, no policy, nothing but a party, and you would vote for just to spite the Republicans? No. But I wouldn't vote for the Republican. I would have to sit that one out. I would have to sit that one out. I'm not voting for you because you're a Democrat. I got to vote for you because I believe in you. But I will not vote for a Republican. At least until they, say, hey, I don't support some of this stuff. I denounce hate groups. And I denounce people trying to overthrow the government. If you can't say that, why should I vote for you for anything? Tell me, why would you vote for someone who can't denounce hate groups and can't say it's wrong to try to overthrow the government because you lost an election? Why would you vote for that person in America? Why? Help me understand. Look, again, I'm open to listen. I'm open to listen. Ben says vote policy. That is a policy. Your policy should be it's wrong to try to overthrow the government because you lost an election. If that's not your policy, you should not be in government. That's policy. Your policy should be I don't support hate groups. That's policy. What is difficult about that? Hold on, let me tell you this. And I tell y'all, I'm not a member of any party, but I lean heavily towards the Democrats, right? I'll just be honest. You show me a Democrat, and there are some. You show me a Democrat who can't or won't say that hate groups are bad. You've just shown me somebody that I would never vote for. You show me a Democrat that thinks it's okay to overthrow the government because they lost an election. You've just shown me somebody I would never vote for. How is that hard? How is that hard? Why should anyone say that? What is that going to get them? They aren't thinking about that. That's not a problem for them. It is because people ask them about that. That's why they should say it. That's what it'll get them. Support from people who actually believe in the government, in the country. That's what it'll get them. Look, I'm not saying everybody should just be running around talking about, oh, I believe in the United States, and they do it. But I'm not saying that they should. But when you ask point blank, what do you think about him trying to overthrow the government? Well, I don't think that's what he did, and I don't see a problem with it, and I think everything he did was right, and I'm still going to support him. I don't support you. I don't support you. Somebody please tell me. Somebody please tell me. This is an honest question. What's wrong with not voting for someone who thinks it's okay to try to overthrow the government because you lost an election? Simple question. Somebody tell me what's wrong with that. Well, if they're asked, that is one thing, but who just says it? But they are constantly asked because Donald Trump tried to overthrow the government because he lost an election. So they're asking them on a regular basis, and they're refusing to say that he was wrong. So they are actually asking the question, and they're not just pulling it out of nowhere. They're saying, look what he did. Do you support that? And they're saying, yes. And their policy should be to help make the lives of the people better. But I mean, even if you just start with a base level of, if you believe it's okay to overthrow the government because you lost an election, I won't vote for you. You probably just eliminated 80% of the Republicans. Y'all know I like Charlie Winburn. I like Charlie Winburn. I think Charlie Winburn's a nice guy. I think he's a good dude. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't vote for Charlie Winburn last time he ran because he was asked about denouncing Donald Trump and he wouldn't do it. Look, I get his point. I'm a Republican. I can't be out here just denouncing Republicans, but you're also a person and you should be out here denouncing wrong. I like Wimmer. Of course, I don't always agree with nobody. But I might have would have voted for him. Keep on talking about racism and Donald Trump. Before you know it, these migrants will surpass black people on every level. All right, what do you want to talk about? Can't talk about racism, even though it exists. But let's not talk about it. Shh. And we can't talk about the guy who literally tried to overthrow the government. Just pretend like that didn't happen. Stick your head in the sand. So what should we talk about? What should we talk about? It should be about the policy. Denouncing hate is a policy. Should be. Karen says, Charlie knows something. Biden is a criminal. Him and his whole family. I don't know if they're criminals. I mean, I know, clearly his son is. He took a plea deal. He committed some crimes. But, okay, Biden is a criminal. What that got to do with saying that it's wrong actually, I think this Charlie Winburn's race was before he tried to overthrow the government. But what's wrong with saying it's wrong to try to overthrow the government? Okay, Joe Biden is a criminal. You believe Joe Biden is a criminal. I'm not arguing with you about Joe Biden being a criminal. So don't support the man that you believe to be a criminal. But you're going to support the man or the party who embraces hate groups and who embraces people who want to overthrow the government? Help me understand that. Help me understand that. Man is emotionally charged. It's always personal with him. I haven't said anything personal. I'm talking policy. I'm talking 100% policy. Let me ask you, since you don't want to be emotional, I don't want to be emotional either. Do you support trying to overthrow the government because you lost an election? Ben, do you think that's a good thing? Simple question. Take emotion out of it. Don't make it personal. As a policy position, do you think that it's okay to attempt to overthrow the government because you lost an election? It's a simple question. Maybe they are in fear of the lives or livelihood. Probably. But again, if you fear about if your livelihood is more important, then you probably shouldn't be up there representing me. You go focus on something else where your livelihood ain't in jeopardy. Because if you're going to put that over the good of what you believe to be the greatest country on the planet, are you fit to lead? And again, I'm not telling you not to vote Republican. Look, if you like the Republicans, you like their policy positions, and again, some of their policy positions I agree with. Some of them I agree with. Ben, it's a simple question. Do you believe that it is okay to attempt to overthrow the government because you lost an election? It's a simple yes or no. It's a simple yes or no. Don't try to dance around it. Answer the question and then explain the answer. That's always a good policy. Answer the question and then explain the answer. Don't try to explain the question away. Just answer the question. How long do they get to sit there in the Senate? Should be limited to 5 years. Oh, old head race has got to go. I believe their term is 6 years. But I'm down with a two-term. I am down with term limits. For representatives, members of the House of Representatives and members of the Senate. I say Senate, 2 terms, which puts you in there longer than a president is supposed to be able to be in there. And I say for members of the House of Representatives, 4 terms. 4 terms. That puts them at 8 years. 8 and 12. That sounds reasonable to me. Get in there, do what you got to do before your livelihood is all wrapped up in your vote and how much money you can garner from your positions and all of that kind of stuff. Get in there, get it done, get out. Back to the private sector. Dante, I'm still waiting to hear what we should talk about. We can't talk about racism, and we can't talk about Donald Trump. What do you want to talk about? If Dante answers, I will switch what I'm talking about to talk about whatever it is that Dante says I should talk about. I'll completely abandon. Anthony says, that's something I hear a lot of people say, Dim and Repub. Just wondering why all aren't trying to push for term limits on all levels. I think kind of what Fran was saying. It's their livelihoods. Once you get in there, you know what I'm saying? You get in there, you get, as a senator, you get 2 terms under your belt and you raking in all that money. And you might have went up there like, yeah, it should be term limits. It should be term limits. And then you get up there and you've been up there for 12 years and you raking in all that money and you like, why should there be term limits? I'm up here doing so much good. Same in the House. Term limits, term limits. You get up there and start raking in money. Why? Why should there be term limits? Why should the good that I do be limited? They're not thinking about you. It gets to a point where they're thinking about their livelihood. Because this is how they make money. This is how they make money. This is how they make connections. This is how they, they get up there and get rich. And who want to get that up? On principle? Please. I was principled when I got here. And then I got rich. Or I got a certain level of notoriety. Or I made the right connections. Angela says, plenty of rich, out-of-touch Democrats. Just saying, I didn't say a party. As a matter of fact, the question was asked about Republicans and Democrats. See, that's just it. I'm not talking like the Democrats are the best thing ever. The question was Republicans and Democrats. I'm talking about all of them. I'm not the one trying to push you to vote for Democrats. Not now, never have been. Now, do I share what I think? Sure, I share what I think and what I feel. But if you want to vote for a Republican, vote for a Republican. I don't think that necessarily make you a sellout. It mean we don't see eye to eye on that. That's all that mean. But when black people vote for Democrats, we stupid. We don't see things. We don't know nothing. We don't, you know what I'm saying? There's always all of this nonsense surrounding it. How about we just don't see things the way you see them? How about maybe we voting for the policy as well? Maybe we see a party that doesn't seem to have as much of a problem allowing black people to be a part of it and in leadership and getting behind black candidates and supporting them and getting them elected, thus giving black people more of a voice. That might have something to do with it, possibly. I mean, is that reasonable? Ben, there's a question on the table for you. It's a simple question. It's a yes or no question. Do you believe it's okay for a candidate to attempt to overthrow the government because he lost an election? Y'all know I don't do this much. It's a simple question. I just want a yes or no. We're giving you like 3 tries. We being me. 3 tries. Yes or no. And if you don't want to answer it, just don't post nothing else. If you post something else, you get 3 shots, then you're out of here. Because it's a simple question. Yes or no. Do you believe it's okay for a candidate to attempt to overthrow the government because he lost an election? Simple. You can explain after you answer. Sheila says no, but I'm specifically asking Ben. Because he's the main one always trying to push black people to vote for Republicans. I say vote for who you want to vote for. I think the Republican Party is a hate group. So I don't vote for them. I don't see black candidates get a fair shot. And again, like I mentioned earlier, they don't seem to be very pro-American to me. They say they're pro-American, but they don't seem to be very pro-American. Wyatt says, how about we as black folk name 3 important policies that will improve our way of living in America? Let's start there. Actually, let's start by answering the question that I asked. It was a simple question. Why can't nobody answer that question? Well, Sheila did. But why can't nobody answer that question? That's one, Ben. That's one. That was not a yes or a no. That's one. Dante says you can talk about to the end of time what you want, but while you're talking, migrants will be educating themselves and their children on how to get business loans, how to buy land for the low, how to increase their net worth and build generational wealth. Those are the things. Those are things that we can do, but we choose to cry about how Republicans don't like us. Okay, let me ask you, Dante. What are you doing in that area? Give me a call, 513-717-5464. Tell us how to get business loans, how to educate our children, how to buy land for the low, how to increase our net worth and build generational wealth. Call in and tell us. It's what you want to talk about. I'm down with it. Let's talk about it. Give me a call, 513-717-5464. Wyatt says, I'm late. What's the question? It's a simple question. Do you think it's okay for a candidate to attempt to overthrow the government because he lost an election? Simple question. Brent says it's wrong for a candidate to try to overthrow the government after losing an election. See how simple that is? Will says no. Janice says no. It's a really simple question. I know everybody thinks it's a trick. When you ask a simple question, people think it's a trick. It's a trick question, see? So what he trying to do is I'm just asking a simple question. You could say yes. All right, that's two. That's two. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, we might give you this one. He says yes if you were cheated. So now you see where this guy stands with regard to the government. You have a guy who believes it's okay to attempt to overthrow the government because you lost an election. Ask one more time. I missed it. I don't know if you're joking or not, but it was a really simple question. Is it okay to attempt to overthrow the government because you lost an election? He says yes. Will said hell no. Okay, my bad, Will. My bad. Will and Janice, they said hell no. And that's all. He says yes. And now y'all know where he stands. And you can take that for whatever you want to take it for. You can take it for whatever you want to take it for. It is not okay. So now can we get to what's best for black folks? Well, what do you think is best for black folks? What do you think is best for black folks? Because again, I don't think there's one answer for that either. I don't think there's one answer for that. It's a whole lot of stuff that would be great for black folks. Some people don't believe it, but police violence actually exists. Yeah, it actually exists. So doing something about that would be helpful. I am a proponent of uh reparations. I think that would be good. Yeah. But bro, you have answered every one of my questions with a question. I didn't know you were asking questions. You asked one question. I thought I was in the process of answering. Oh, you don't like my answers. Is that it? You don't like my answers? Why you always beefing with me, bro? You don't like my answers? You don't think that dealing with police brutality and police violence against black people is important? I said that, and you said I'm not answering the question. So tell me, how do you want me to answer the question? What do you want me to say is the answer? Because I was answering the question. You said three. I had given you two of three, but I'm not answering. So you tell me what the answer should be, and that's the answer I'll give you. I'm still waiting for Dante to call. He's gonna call. See, I always think it's interesting. Well, we should be talking about this. Aren't you part of we? Yeah, so call in and talk about it. Wyatt says, you asked me to answer your question. I did. Then I asked you 3 policies best for our people. And I was 2 of 3 I had given you. And then you sent something saying, I'm not answering your question. But I gave you 2 of 3. I gave you 2 of 3. And you stopped me. So you tell me, do you want the third? Or do you want to tell me what I think that the answer is? I said reparations. I said dealing with police violence against black people. Oh, my bad. My bad. I know what you said, and I was trying to answer, and then I saw the thing come up, and I'm like, "But I'm answering your question." And I would say education, free education, which I wouldn't include in reparations. So that would be 3 policies: free secondary education, reparations, cash, and an end to doing something about uh, police violence against black people. Those are 3 policies that I think would be good to be dealt with. There are more. There are more. But you asked for 3. Those are the first 3 that came to my head. How much do you think would repair black people? I mean, should be given as reparations. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think that though there's a conversation to be had. Like a real conversation to be had around it. Phyllis says, classic line, give me a break. Find me X amount of money. That infuriated me. That alone it's bullying. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I should have probably read it when it first came in. Preston says free healthcare. But those are some issues that I think would be important for black people. That either party should be able to get behind. Either party should be able to get behind that. Okay, granted, the reparations one, that one's kind of up in the air. That one's kind of up in the air. Because I can actually see, I won't say that I agree, but I can see some of the arguments against reparations. Again, I'm not saying I agree with them. So I don't necessarily think that they're all rooted in racism and hatred. So I understand the argument against it. If the Republican Party would support a reparations plan, they would definitely pick up more black support. I don't think they ever would, but you never know. You never know. Well, y'all, my time is about up. I got to get ready to get out of here. Um, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Just I was expecting Dante to call in. He gave me this great thing that we should be talking about. He don't want to talk about it though. Come on. Come on. Stop telling people you should be talking about this, but you won't talk about it. I'm a big believer in this. Different people have different passions, and you should follow your passion, right? The idea that it's a bad thing to talk about racism, the idea that it's a bad thing to talk about racism would be then the answer to that is then no one talks about racism. And how do we address racism? Because you do agree it still happens, right? But if nobody talks about it, stop talking about it. But you think all the money in the world gonna stop racism? You can go get all the money in the world. You can go get all the loans in the world. Racism still gonna exist. Well, just don't talk about it. Ben says, stay away from politics, E-Man. I actually just stay away from you. It's just stay away from you. You trying to convince everybody to vote Republican. And you're trying to do it on the slide, but you ain't slick about it. Like, that's the thing about it that's funny. Not even really funny. Sad. Everybody can see through what you're doing. Everybody can see through it. Dante says, I can't call in right now, but I will have to get with you next week sometime. All right. And I'm certain that I will be on sometime next week. One day next week, I'll be on. I guarantee you. All of y'all, it's not just Ben. All of y'all who are trying to shame black people into voting for Republicans under the guise of, well, I'm not trying to make anybody vote for anybody. I'm just trying to point out how bad the Democratic Party is because they all keep voting for the Democratic Party when they shouldn't be voting for the Democratic Party. We see through that. You want us to vote Republican, but you can't really tell us why you want us to vote Republican. All you can tell us is the Democrats are bad. We know the Democrats are bad. We know this. I know you've heard of the lesser of two evils, but some of y'all don't even like the idea of the exception to the rule. So I know y'all won't like the idea of the lesser of two evils. But it's a thing. It's a thing people do. People who believe it's important to vote, they look at candidate A, they look at candidate B. They say, who do I vote for? They look at their policies. A lot of times their policies don't match, and that makes the difference to them. All right. But sometimes, even if their policies kind of match to a large degree, you're like, okay, I agree with both of them on that. I agree with both of them on that. I agree with both of them on that. All right. I agree with candidate B on that. Oh, I agree with candidate B on that. Oh, I think I agree with candidate A on that. But that one ain't as important to me as that one is. And it's a balancing act that you have to do. You have to look at it and you have to say, who do I kind of agree with more? Who do I think I'll prosper me and my people? Well, for some people, it's all about them. Who will I prosper under more? Well, I got money. I'll probably prosper more under Republicans. So I'm voting Republican. Sometimes that happens. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to look out for your interests. Some of us are like, I might actually prosper more under Republicans, but look at what that might do to my people. I don't want to see them hurting just so I can come up. And if this guy gets the policies that he wants implemented, it'll be great for me financially, but it might be devastating for some of my people. Okay, E, you're right. Now that we know how bad Republicans are, how they don't have our best interests at hand, what have Democrats done for our people over the last 4 decades? If nothing else, Democrats have given our people a voice more over the past 4 decades. There've been over the past 40 years more black people elected under the Democratic banner than any other party. That says something. They get up there, they get a voice. They work for change. I'm not that conscious. The my people thing, well, I am. Look, and I get it. A lot of people, there are a lot of people. I tell you, look, I will give you $1 million if I get the opportunity to go enslave those people. And some of y'all was like, yeah, I take the $1 million. What about the hundreds of thousands of people that I'm going to enslave? I got $1 million. Why do I care about them? It's America. They should have been the first ones. You can get anything you want. They should have got their own $1 million. Some of y'all actually believe that. I'm not one of those people. So, a seat at the table. Democrats have had control with very little change for us. Um, okay, let me accept your premise. Number one, to say a seat at the table, as dismissive as that seemed to me, I don't hear you. So I'm just reading. So to say a seat at the table as dismissive as that, I don't know that I like that. But you might not have been dismissive. You always say I don't read your comments with the appropriate emotional uh whatever. So, yes, a seat at the table, which is important. A seat at the table is important. Um but you say Democrats have had control with very little change for us. Okay. What's the point that you're making is what? Let's look at Ohio, for example. In Ohio, the Republicans are in control. What in Ohio? Because I didn't ask you what your three things are. What in Ohio, let's say in the past 12 years, what gains have we had here in Ohio under Republican control? The past 40 years under Republican control. What gains have we had here in Ohio that didn't come from the federal government? The point that I'm making, I'll tell you why I asked the question. The point that I'm making is it's going to be hard for black people to get gains dealing when we're a minority. We're a minority in this country and we're a minority in Congress, being the House and the Senate. We're a minority. So any gains we get has to be fought for from people trying to stop us from getting those gains. So to say, well, the Democrats didn't give us enough gains, some of that is because Republicans stopped some of those gains, fought against them. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. Democrats didn't push for enough, and Republicans fought against what Democrats pushed for. They're both bad. They're both bad. I don't know what is so hard about that. Like, people want you to say, vote for Republicans. I'm not saying that. I don't believe in that. Me telling you that I recognize the Democrats are bad, that there are racist Democrats, that the Democrats don't do enough for black people, but the Democrats do more than Republicans. That's just the truth. But that don't make either one of them good. They both bad. But me saying Democrats are bad and Republicans are bad is not enough. I have to say, vote Republican. Then everybody, not everybody, then those critics will be like, oh, he came around. Oh, he came around. Ben says, that's not true. You spewing lies. Tell me one lie that I've said. Just one. Tell me one. Y'all, I know. It's a simple question. He won't answer it because he can't answer it. Super simple question. And for whatever reason, they never like to answer simple questions. Simple question. Tell me one lie. Just one. One lie. And we talk about the educational system in Ohio, right? And how it's the Democrats' fault that people Democrats give more symbolic gestures, no tangibles. Tell me one lie that I've said. And okay, what tangible did Republicans give? If we talk about the education system, so, oh, CPS is all messed up, and the best way to make your kids more successful and the stuff is with the educational system. Who runs the education system here in Ohio? Who runs the education system here in Ohio? The Republicans control the entire school system here in Ohio. The entire school system. Mike DeWine appointed the, what is he? What is his title? What is his title? Oh, by the way, Mike DeWine is a Republican. Mike DeWine appointed Paul LaRue, president of the State Board of Education. That's Republican. That's who controls the school systems here in Ohio. Republicans. So if you got a problem with the school systems here in Ohio, you got a problem with Republicans. You know that the way that it's funded is not legal. Who controls the government here in Ohio where they could come up with a plan to constitutionally and equitably fund public schools in Ohio? Who controls that? Republicans. Republicans control that. Republicans. The teachers union controlled the school system. COVID proved that. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. COVID proved that they have some sway. But the teachers union don't tell the superintendent of public schools what to do for the state. The teachers union don't tell them what to do. The teachers union didn't tell Mike DeWine who to appoint, the Republican governor. The teachers union don't dictate how the schools are funded in Ohio and how unconstitutional and inequitable it is. The teachers union don't control that. Tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where I'm lying. You telling me the teachers union made Mike DeWine appoint who he appointed? Republicans control the school budget funds. The school board choose the superintendent. No, the superintendent of public schools for the state. It's a position held in the state, appointed by the governor, who's a Republican. The Republicans control that. The Republicans control that. Democrats don't control that. Democrats haven't controlled the government here in Ohio in a minute. So if Republicans really wanted to fix it and make the system more equitable, the ball is in their court. They got the votes to do it tomorrow. They got the votes to do it tomorrow. Make it equitable. They could do it. Will says, speaking of schools, granted it's not the topic of discussion, but I'm interested to know some opinions of the CPS superintendent. Thoughts? Well, from a personal standpoint, I met her and she seems like a nice lady. She seemed like she know what she's doing. I mean, I don't know how much. See, all of this stuff. Look, it's easy to say, you the superintendent, fix something. But she kind of at the mercy of the board. She can't just arbitrarily, unilaterally do stuff. See, my thing is, there's plenty of blame to go around. Democrats get blamed, Republicans get blamed. Stop trying to make it where, stop trying to force and shame people into supporting Republicans. Stop. Look, you support Republicans. Great. Vote for them. Good. You believe that they doing what's in the best interest of you or in the best interest of the country, the state, the city, the district, whatever. Vote for them if that's what you want to do. I don't think that make you sell out. I don't think that make you a C word. None of that kind of stuff. It's just your personal preference. But stop trying to shame people into believing what you believe because you believe it. I think they're a hate group, Republicans. But that's not me telling you a C word if you vote for a Republican. That's my personal view. And if for whatever reason that triggers you, because I believe they're a hate group, just ignore me. Just ignore what I said. Someone called me the C word on my job about 3 weeks ago, made me want to vote Republican. I've been called that before, and it never made me want to vote Republican. It never made me want to vote Republican. But if you vote Republican, I don't hate you. We're not going to fight. I'm not going to dog you. I'm not going to tell you you want no plantation and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you constantly trying to convince me to vote, then, I'm like, get off they talk. Damn. What's the C word? Like a raccoon, just without the rat in front of it. That's the C word I'm talking about. There is another C word, but I don't know that would make anybody want to vote one party or not. Look, I love all y'all. Well, almost all y'all. Oh, but stop. Stop beating people up about supporting a party. Let people support who they want to support. Ain't neither one of them, 100% for us. They all get up there. They all get money. They all stop thinking about the people. They all start thinking about their livelihood and their connections and, winning the next election. And then what are they, if they don't win, how are they set up for once they get out? I don't believe that there's a handful of them up there that's like, I wonder what we can do to make life better for the people in America. I don't think they care. None of them. But y'all want to sit there and try to shame people for recognizing that neither of them care. But it seemed like we might get more mileage out of this one. You disagree with them. Disagree with them. But stop trying to convince them that your way is better without giving any real reason why your way is better. Them Democrats costed you your livelihood and you're still on the plantation. Yeah, that's going to make me vote Republican. So the ridiculousness of that. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. Oh, boy. Don't be so triggered. It's okay. Come on. Don't we have like conflict resolution skills where we can just disagree? That you want a plantation and all that nonsense. Come on. I think we know what that's about. All right, let me get out of here, y'all. I don't think I done said this like 5 times. Oh, and nobody even told me the cookie trick. The cookie trick. Because y'all know I love my sweets. So I go to Perkins, right? And there is some debate about whether or not the pancakes are better at Perkins than some other places. Let me tell you, Perkins got the best pancakes in my opinion. Perkins got the best pancakes in my opinion. What? You said IHOP. You on the IHOP plantation. It's ridiculous. That's stupid. But in my opinion, Perkins got the best pancakes. Okay? And I go to Perkins. Little baby wanted some pancakes. So I stop at Perkins, get some pancakes, and they got these sugar cookies. Now, here's one thing I hate about people. Diane said pancake house. You're a pancake house. You're on the pancake house plantation. See how stupid that sounds? We don't agree. And that's okay. That's okay. um, but, um, Yeah, Perkins is still in business and one up on Hamilton. So I go there and they got these sugar cookies, right? They got these sugar cookies. Here's what I hate when I go to a lot of places and they make cookies that are soft. In order for them to be soft, they undercook them. I don't like undercooked cookies. I like a good, soft cookie that's cooked all the way. But they was looking good. But they was looking good. So I was like, let me buy some cookies. Let me buy some cookies. So I bought the cookies and I've been toying around with the right way to finish cooking cookies. The right way to finish cooking these cookies. And, sometimes I cook them and they end up like really hard. And, I don't like crunchy cookies that break when you bite them. So here's what I figured out. I bought them. I did one. Well, I did a few different things, but here's the final solution that I came to. If you get underdone cookies, now I don't know if this just works for this particular cookie or not. I don't know if this just works for this particular cookie or not. It's something that, and I'll try it with different ones. I took those sugar cookies. I put them on a cookie sheet. Put them in the oven at 250 degrees. 250 for 7 minutes. 250 degrees for 7 minutes. Then I turned up the oven to 375 for another 7 minutes. There was a lot of trial and error. I'm telling you what worked best for me. I tried a lot of different stuff. For another 7 minutes. Now, I don't take them out and then let the oven heat up to 375. I just, when the timer goes off for 7 minutes, I just change the temperature on the oven to 375 and set it for another 7 minutes. Would you believe those cookies came out amazingly soft and brown and cooked all the way through? They were absolutely they are, because actually didn't finish them all, so I still got some. Now Mrs. Livingston looked at them and she said, that's a burnt cookie, don't you? So what do you mean it's a burnt cookie? This is cooked perfectly. She said, no, I understand what you're saying. And it's a good cookie. It's done, it's soft, it's delicious. But they can't put that in the little bakery window. Sugar cookies are like white almost. That's how they look. If they put a brown cookie in there, everybody will think that it's overcooked. I said, you might have a point there. You might have a point there. But I'll tell you, them cookies was delicious. As a matter of fact, I'm about to go finish them off. Well, I'm not going to finish them off. I bought 6 of them. I ate 2 of them yesterday. So I got another 4. I'll probably eat another 2 today and then like another 2 tomorrow. But delicious. Finished cooking them. Again, a trial and error. I done made them hard. I hadn't had to throw cookies away, which breaks my heart. That might happen. They say, bro, you eating 2 now and 2 tonight. That might happen. That might happen, and then I have to make another stop. But no, I'm not sharing them with the little baby. As a matter of fact, one of them was hers. But she left and she forgot it. Like, hey, you snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose. Make your own with the little baby. When we make them, she like to eat too many of them. That's less for me. we make cookies together. We do, but sometimes, I stop by Perkins for them pancakes. And the cookies be looking good, you got to get them. But now that I know the recipe to finish cooking them, and they still soft and delicious, I might be getting them 12 at a time. I'm not even gonna lie, they delicious. Look, they used to have some really good, I haven't seen them in a long time. They used to have some really good peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I haven't seen those in a long time, but they used to have them and they had the same problem. But, I love some good peanut butter cookies, not with actual peanuts in them. If you put peanuts in your peanut butter cookie, uh, you might go to hell. I think it's written in like the book of Jonas or something like that. You put peanuts in your peanut butter cookies, thou shalt go to hell. It's something like that. But they had some good. But now that I know the formula, if I see those again, you can best believe I'm getting a dozen of those. You can best believe that. But all right, y'all. That was it. That was it. Just in case you go to Perkins, get some pancakes because they do have the best. I need. This is what I really need. I need a good Perkins pancake recipe. I done seen all of these fake, supposedly reverse engineered recipes for Perkins pancakes, and they never taste like Perkins. Never. I'll be like, ooh, this is about to be good. Don't go to Perkins in North College. That's the one I go to. That's the one I go to. Why? I need to know why not. Bro, don't go to prison. Them big cookies will have you bent and twisted up, neck hurting. I don't know about that. Oh, last thing. Last thing. I know I said I got to get out of here, and I do have to get out of here. I don't know if Wyatt is coming on at 5 o'clock, and if he is, I'm over into his time. So let me get out of here real quick. I watched the Blacklist finale yesterday or last night. I'm not gonna ruin it for somebody who might have been watching it. I didn't think it was bad, but it was anticlimactic. It might have even been fitting. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. But if you watched it, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I did not love the Blacklist series finale. Vicky says it was sad, and I'm trying to do it with no spoilers. I'm trying to do it with no spoilers. Because we live in a generation where people don't watch stuff when it come home. People record it or they binge it and all that kind of stuff. It was sad. Was it really? Was it? Janice says, wow, that ending. I don't know, why is it not showing your comment? Wow, that ending. I think it was fitting. I think it was fitting. It was something about it that felt anticlimactic, even though, yes, it everything made sense. Maybe I just, because of the show that it was, I wanted a lot more action, towards the end. But like I said, it wasn't bad. Brenda says she cried. You cried. Come on. Well, when Dembe was talking that last time and you kind of had an idea of everything that was about to go down, I think I glanced over at Mrs. Livingston because she be crying. And she might have had a tear in her eye. She might have had a tear in her eye. I can't really say. Look like it's time to go. Y'all about to snitch on the ending. I'm not going to snitch on the ending. I'm not going to snitch on the ending. A coworker told me on Wednesday that The Blacklist was the best show on television ever. I have not seen it. It's not the best show on television ever. Actually, a lot of those seasons were a little rough to get through. A lot of them seasons were rough to get through. But I never used to watch it until my pastor mentioned it. And he was like, "Hey, you ever seen this show?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Man," he said, "I ain't gonna tell you really nothing about the show. I'm gonna just tell you what the premise is." And I feel like I can tell you what the premise is if you've never seen it. The premise is basically this guy who's like the most wanted guy in the world comes in and turns himself into the FBI. And he says, basically, you think I'm bad. Uh, I know some other dudes that's even worse than me, and I can help you catch them. And then they just go from there. So it's decent. You know, I watched the whole thing. It's decent. Jeff Pastor. No, not Jeff Pastor. Not Jeff Pastor. Kenneth says it's good. But the series finale was last night. It was a 2-hour finale. And yeah, I suggest if you watched it, watch it. But again, I thought it was anticlimactic. I definitely didn't cry. I definitely didn't cry, but it was interesting. Angela says, I haven't watched that in years. Didn't know it was still on. Well, it's not anymore. It's not anymore. But it was decent. Again, I say it ended probably the way it should have ended. Probably the way it should have ended. Jeannie says, took my earbuds out. I don't want to know the premise. You don't even want to know the premise of the show? Like, why watch a show that you have no idea what the premise is? A lot of times the premise is in the Flash. What is that about? It's about this superhero that runs really fast, like a flash. That's the premise of the show. I just told you the premise. I didn't tell you. You gotta know the premise of a show before you watch it, don't you? So you just like you don't even watch movie trailers. You just walk in and say any, many, mighty, mo and pick a movie, and then you go in and watch that movie. Because even in the trailer, they tell you the premise. They tell you what the show, what it's about. That's all I did. I didn't give anything away. If you watch the commercials when it was first coming on, that was what the commercials told you. That's it. So when am I gonna watch Welcome Home, Uncle Tom? I tried to watch it. I keep telling y'all. I tried to watch it. It didn't work all that well for me. Oh, all right. I really do have to go this time. I need to get out here and cut this grass. I don't want it to rain on me. And it should be a little cooler now. So, hey, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Like, I hope something amazing in a good way happens to you by the end of this weekend. All right. Some you can even call in and testify about. Like, you are not going to believe what happened, and we all celebrate you. That's the kind of weekend I hope you have. All right. Until next time, my name is Emanuel Livingston. My title is The King of Talk. It's been the afternoon experiment. I'm out, y'all. Peace.